Larry Fortenberry. I'm the agriculture science teacher at Groveton, Texas. I've been here for 35 years. Today I have with me 4 of my commercial steer students that are involved in a contest where they will go to Houston to show commercial steers. But we also do several other contests, and all of these kids are active in the FFA where they show animals and stuff. And the first person I'd like to introduce to you is Cole Sullivan.
I'm Cole Sullivan. I'm part of Groveton FFA in Trinity County 4-H. I show heifers for a living. I've basically won every big show in Texas, like Fort Worth, San Antonio, Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. I show limousine heifers, and I also took 3 up this summer to the National Western in Denver, Colorado. And I had a division winner and 2 class winners. And I also show steers, and I've won Trinity County show twice.
Okay. The next student I'd like to introduce to you is Emily Ecord. Emily's a sophomore this year in Groveton, and she is a very big part of our organization.
Okay, hi, my name is Emily Ecord. Like Mr. Fortenberry said, I'm a sophomore, and I show commercial steers, broilers, market lambs, and Beefmaster heifers. 2 years ago at the Houston Livestock Show, I took a pen of pullets down, which are female broilers, and I placed 8th. And then this past year, I was 16th overall at the Houston show, and that's out of about 320 pens. And so I think I did remarkably well, especially for some of my first time showing. I show market lambs. I've shown lambs since the 3rd grade, and I show them at the state fair and at our county fair. And since 3rd grade, I've won our show 5 times, and I've won showmanship 4. And so I've had very good luck with lambs and feeding them out and competing well with them. I also raise and show purebred Beefmaster heifers. And that's one of my hobbies and one of my family's hobbies that we've done for several generations. And I think me and my sister and my little brother, we are able to continue out that tradition for our family and show these and market these cattle. Recently, my 8th grade year, I started showing commercial steers at the Houston Livestock Show. In my 8th grade year, I was the 2nd overall junior rookie and the 2nd overall junior. And so I took a pin back last year, and I did quite as well. I didn't do quite as well. I was competing my first year in the senior division, so of course I didn't do as good as in the junior division. But I'm coming back this year, and I'm ready to do better. And then I show. I don't show, but I compete in beef cattle skillathons. And my 8th grade year, I was 4th at Dallas, and I won the beef cattle or meat science skillathon at San Antonio. And then this past year, I was 4th at Dallas in the senior division. Our beef bull team we took to Houston was 4th overall, and I was a part of the state qualifying livestock judging team this year.
Okay, our next student is Meredith Ecord. She's a senior this year. She's been in ag. Well, she's been getting in the ag truck ever since she was probably 2 years old, but she's a senior this year, and again, she is a big part of our organization.
As Mr. Fortenberry said, this is my final year to be a part of the Groveton FFA, and I've had some fun times. I've shown commercial steers since the 8th grade, and I've accomplished, I would say, quite a bit. My first year, I was the junior rookie, which is basically I was the highest scoring person under the age of 14 as of August 31st in the contest. And I was also the top placing junior, which applies to the same thing. And the Houston Livestock Show's commercial steer contest is a very difficult and something that you have to be fully prepared to invest all of your time in. You start with a pen of 3 steers that you can feed out for about 150 days. You have to feed them something similar to what you'd find in a feedlot, like whole show corn. And also through that, you have to keep a record of all the feed receipts, any kind of medicine that you gave, kind of a record of the steer's performance throughout the period. And you have to study lots of current events, things that that are going on in the industry now or have been in the past. So you can take a test and do an interview over your steers and over the current events. And then recently, all the years that I've done it, but it hasn't been implemented long, there's a meat test where they have different cuts of meat that you'd see in a grocery store set out, and you have to identify what the cut of meat is and what part of the animal it came from. And to go along with that, they have it's called a meats test, and they ask you different questions about, the quality of the meat, or if however many steers were marketed this week in Kansas City, or something along those lines. But it's a very time-consuming contest, and it's something that I've found to be very rewarding in all the years that I've done it. And to go along with that, all the years up to now, my senior year, I've placed in the top 8 of Houston, which is out of about 200 exhibitors. And then through that, you go through a final interview with experts from the beef industry, and they drill you on anything and everything that you could possibly have to know about the cattle industry. And to go along with that, as my sister Emily, I've competed in the San Antonio and State Fair Beef Skillathons, which it kind of falls back to the commercial steer contest, where you have to identify different equipment and show different skills that you have to do when working cattle and things like that. And last year, I won the State Fair Skillathon and placed second at San Antonio. And my sophomore year, I actually won the San Antonio Beef Skillathon. And some of my other accomplishments include having the grand champion pin of commercial heifers at the Trinity County Fair last year, and participating in various judging teams and chapter conducting contests and showing Beefmaster heifers. And I also participate in UIL, where I was the state champion of the spelling contest my sophomore year. And this past year, I was the Lone Star in Production state winner, which is a very high honor. You have to go through and document any kind of FFA activities you do. So, and the production category is raising animals. So I have to raise the cattle, raise the broilers, and show the different things that I do throughout the day, and show that to a panel of judges, where I also go through an interview against 9 other competitors from all across Texas, and I had the good fortune of winning this year.
The fourth student we have here is Michaela Rowe. She is a 8th grader this year, but we kind of sneak her into our class. She is the daughter of Joey and Angie Rowe, and she is going to learn how to speak as well as these girls. She may be a little nervous right now, but we'll probably drag some questions out of her as she goes along here.
Well, this is my first year with commercial steers. Ever since I was 3, I've shown pigs in TJLA. I showed TJLA shows for about 6 years, and 3 of those years I was in the top 10. And then we stopped when I was about 7. So I just showed in 4-H, and I won showmanship for like 3 years. And
Tell me about your deer feeding operation.
this summer, my dad owns like a lot of deer, and they have babies, and some of the moms can't take care of them, so I got to feed them.
Okay, we appreciate the Groveton News coming in and looking at these students. This is just a few of the kids that we have here in Groveton that have accomplished a lot of things. And for a small school, we try to keep our kids involved in stuff, and more than anything, try to teach them to be a good person. and to give everything they have to what they're doing. So thank you so much.